Hello, all. Very good morning. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. You're now tuned in to Govardhan Pinni's channel. So, over here, we normally discuss the broader market scenario with respect to Indian indices primarily, along with global cues. So, right now, let's start with our discussion on today's analysis for Nifty. Let me just bring up the Nifty screen for you. So yeah, on the left side you see Nifty spot prices, and on the right side you see the Nifty futures. So Nifty futures we have drawn in the chart because we can see the volume scenario over here, where on spot levels we actually cannot see the volumes. So the all-time high for Nifty is 15,733, and that is the first resistance point for us during the day, followed by 15,800 on a broader note. Also, as along take a look with the chart, we are going to discuss the OI stats also. So please stay tuned then. So the first resistance lies around 15,733 and the first support lies around 15,620 levels. So 15,620 and 15,580 is the first demand zone for us on the downside with a decent amount, and this, on the upside the resistance lies around 15,733, that's the all-time high, and followed by 15,800. Basically 15,700 would be a resistance zone if we actually see the OI stats. Let me just bring them up for you. So 15,700, there's heavy call writing that has happened. This data is for 10 June expiry, that is this week, and as we see in this chart, we can see that there's heavy call writing at 15,700. But when we witness for SGX Nifty, that's on futures note, we can see that there's a slight gap up by 0.3% odd, and that's approximately 45-50 points. So we closed around 15,700 zone. So our opening would be around 15,740, 15,750 levels. And if that is going to happen, we are going to open around all-time highs in terms of Nifty and Nifty futures most likely. So we are going to take out the first resistance right at gap up, and if the SGX Nifty futures are going to sustain for the next half an hour as we discuss in this video. So on that note, the first resistance lies at 15,733 and 15,800. On the support it's around 15,600 levels, followed by 15,500. So let me just bring up the smaller time frame, and that would be daily basis, and let me just scrap this out. Yeah, so we have the daily 5 minutes chart of Nifty, and as we can see for the past week, that's third and fourth, right? Yes, third and fourth, fifth and sixth were holidays for us. We have been in a narrow range, so we have been oscillating within this range of 120 odd points, and we barely touched all-time high just once. That was on Friday opening note. Then we again traced back to the downside, and then on the upside. So we have been in a decent range to note, and this is a range to watch out where one has to play with smaller quantities rather than go big in this range, unless there's a breakdown or break up of this range. I mean, when I say break up, it's about 15,733 levels, and when I say breakdown, it's below 15,600 and 15,610 levels. Only then you can witness a decent move in your options positions. So until then, please stay cautious with the position sizing that you enter into, and take a strong note on this. Also, last week was when our margin limits were adjusted to 1.33 from 1.5, so that impact is slowly visible now. That's on Nifty's note, and as I did show, this is SGX Nifty right now trading around 15,750 levels. So yes, we are ought to expect a slight gap up, That's by just 0.3%, which could right away fall in the first candle itself or first few candles, or can sustain above that also. So the first few minutes for the day will actually be crucial today, pardon that. And let's check out Bank Nifty. Let me just bring up the Bank Nifty future also. So that's Bank Nifty future. Bring up to the screen. Right, okay. So this is Bank Nifty future on the right side, and on the left side it's Bank Nifty spot. Let me just clear out the drawings for you on both the screens, and then just bring up it into daily charts. So on the right side you have Bank Nifty futures chart, and on the left side you have Bank Nifty spot chart. So if you see, we made a decent high on Friday, that is 35,810. We have broken the range of the past 3 days. The next resistance for us lies around 36,500, and below that is 36,000 levels. That's more of psychological resistance, but any upward move above 36,000 would easily lead us to 36,500 levels, where a small resistance lies around 36,200. But if there are decent volumes in Bank Nifty, that could easily be taken out. So, and on Friday's note, if we see, we have seen a significant selling volume, but we did not close at all time, the day's low on Friday. We actually closed above 150 points above the day's low, although we closed below 400 points or above day's high. So that's on the Bank Nifty futures front. But let's see on Bank Nifty spot on a 5-minute chart, and let's see the support levels and resistance levels for the day. As I mentioned for Nifty that it's been in a zone, so is Bank Nifty if you actually see. So let's just see the last 2 days, since that's what we have seen for Nifty also. So this was the low, right? So if you actually see, it's not just the past 2 days, but it's been a while where we have taken supports at 35,100 levels. That's been from the May last week itself. And on the upside, we actually resisted around 35,800 odd levels. So 35,750 was the level, if you recall, that we discussed. 35,745, 750 was a level of good resistance where we discussed, and the highs that were made were that the just ticks that happened were around 35,800, but more or less we always rested around 35,750 odd levels. So that's a point to note on a decent way. Let's also see what's going to happen for the day. So the first resistance, like I mentioned, on the upside would lie around again on Friday's high, that's 35,800 levels. So let me just jot it down for you. So 35,808 is the high, 810.9. so that's roughly close. And let me just take this out. Okay, so that would be our first resistance, followed by 36,000 and 36,200, 36,500. So at every 200 odd points we have a decent resistance on upside, and on the downside we closed around 35,291 was the closure price, and we are almost close to the support zone on downside. So 35,174 and 35,000 levels, 35,090 odd levels would be the support levels again, and then 35,000 odd. That's, let me just bring up this. So 35,000 odd levels would be the support again. So on upside and downside we are in a narrow range. So breaking 35,291 200 odd levels that we closed around 35,291, but breaking 35,200 levels might show a slightly selling pressure. So that's on a cautious note where we need to stand at. And on the upside, breaking 35,800 might actually give us decent buying volumes. So that's again a point to note. So that's a note on Bank Nifty front. And so let's also see the OI stats for Bank Nifty, where they stand. And this is Nifty, and let me just bring up the Bank Nifty OI stats view. So 35,500, there's still a heavy call writing that has happened, followed by 36,000 and 36,500. And on the downside, 35,000 level, there's actually a heavy put writing that has happened compared to the calls. And in nowhere close we see any call writing that has happened. So it's all on a put writing zone. So on downside, we are pretty close to a decent support level, but on the upside we have good resistance at every point. So 35,500, 35,700, 35,800, 36,000, 36,500. So at every level we sort of have a resistance on upside. So take your trades, be cautious with your position sizing, and ensure that you save your capital instead of giving in to the abstract moves that the market is making recently. So unless a trend shows up, there's not going to be a really good move that's gonna happen anyway. And we are currently in a range bound zone for Nifty and Bank Nifty, so stay cautious and check out during the day. I'll also try to share if there's any more interesting points that I come across, but if there's nothing else, that's for today. Also, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, share, and give me feedback. Thank you all. Have a good trading day.